missed you guys. I'm so excited for this next panel. I see that this is a packed house. People are still pouring in right now, which you'll love to see it. So without further ado, let's let them hear us throughout the entire building. And please, welcome to the stage, Mr. Charlie Cox!
That's so cool. Like,
and a very friendly, incredible bunch, too. How many Comic-Cons do you think you've done over the years?
A few.
We're still trying to find the A-game.
So my first one was when the show came out, like 2015. Probably 15 or 20, I guess.
Yeah. I go clear
I don't
back.
think I've been here before.
Well, welcome. Let's hear it. I go clear back to the Stardust days as a huge, giant We're here for them, so let's get right out to the questions.
Nice.
We'll start right over here,
cool.
and they'll bring up the lights. What's your name?
I'm Jeff.
Oh, Jeff. It's Jeff. So Jeff is amazing.
Hey, Jeff.
Hi, Jeff.
Hi, amazing Jeff.
Hello, Charlie. My question to you is, how's it like playing a blind person in Daredevil?
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. Yeah, I mean, it's a challenge for sure. It took a lot of work to kind of get it down and make sure what I was doing was authentic and stuff. It's one of the coolest things about playing this character is, as a byproduct, the relationship I've built with visually impaired community is really cool. From coming to places like here where people tell me how important the portrayal is because of I play a superhero who is visually impaired, has a physical disability. So that's been amazing. So yeah, thank you, Jeff. Great question.
Thank you.
I have to ask about this though. You took the role very seriously, and you even did some training, and I think you got assaulted as a result of that by some woman in the street. What happened there?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, so when I first got the job, I was working with this really amazing gentleman called Joe Strecce, who's visually impaired, and he was teaching me how to use a cane and how to do household chores and make a cup of tea and just, but also I was filming him a lot because I was filming how he moved and what his eyes did and stuff. And one day I was filming him walking down the street in New York because I wanted to see him navigate traffic and pedestrians and stuff. And someone thought I didn't know him and I was filming him for fun or something. So she got really cross with me. And Joe didn't hear, so Joe just kept going and I was like, no, he's my friend.
Let's go to a question over here. Hi, what's your name?
My name's Megan.
Hi, Megan.
I just want to thank you, Charlie, for being my childhood crush from Stardust.
And perhaps still your crush?
Because we just watched it last night, and the entire time I was swooning.
That's so cool, thank you.
I know a lot of people tend to ask questions about the production of the movie Stardust, but I want to ask what your favorite part of the story is.
I haven't seen it in a while.
Just from what you remember.
I think probably the stuff with Captain Shakespeare.
Yes.
It's really fun. I remember I think there's a scene where Claire Danes and I are on a cloud having an argument. And they got like a huge bouncy castle, but they didn't put enough air in it. So if it's like deflated and you can't really, and so we had to stand on it, and there was a rain machine, and we then had to try and stand on this thing and say all the lines and be mad at each other. And there's just a really good memory. It was really fun and silly and all of that. It was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Great
Thanks,
question.
Megan.
Thank you.
Hi, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Catherine.
Hi, Catherine.
I have to second what she said. Thank you for being my childhood crush from Stardust. And I wanted to ask you, so Matt Murdock is now joining the MCU, Daredevil's joining the MCU. Which characters from Marvel, it can be from the comics, it can be from the MCU, which characters do you most want Matt Murdock to interact with?
All of them. Great question. I have to be really careful here because anything I say, when it's reported, it's reported like it's the word of God spoken, you know, and so I have to be careful. You know, look, I love all everything those guys have been doing, and there's a few characters that I would love to have some interaction with. A lot of them are obvious. But I have no idea if they have any of those plans for me or not. But I'm in the door now, at least. You know what I mean? Like I'm in the room, so so that's pretty cool.
What would you choose? What would you choose? You could be the word of God in this situation.
Okay. That's a good one.
You get like 5 seconds.
Spider-Man. I would like to see more Spider-Man.
Yeah, cool.
Especially now that Peter Parker is doesn't exist. I feel like he should have a lawyer to help him figure out some paperwork of being a non-existent entity. I think he needs a lawyer.
I think it would be cool if I was the lawyer for all three of them. You know?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. What are the tattoos of on your arm?
Oh, they're just personal stuff.
Personal stuff? No.
my family, my children, and my wife, and things like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Question over here. What's your name?
Hello, my name's Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Hello, I was just wondering how you feel about Foggy and Karen being in the show now.
Oh, it's so cool, man. It's so cool. Yeah, it was pretty heartbreaking when they weren't around initially, and you know when we came back to filming and they had made some changes, which you guys obviously have probably read about and stuff. You know, it was clear that Foggy and Karen are kind of the heartbeat of our show, and always were, and so it was really special to have them back. And yeah, huge shout out to both. To Deborah and to Elvin, you know. So I know there's been photos. There was some set photos that came out, so I know I can talk about it because it's on the internet. But it was really sweet to have some scenes together again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Question over here. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Haley.
Hi, Haley.
I wanted to ask, what was the most challenging moment that you were doing while playing Daredevil?
Oh wow. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's physically challenging. You know, the fight scene, the fight scenes in general they can be really long and cold. You know, we always used to shoot on the rooftops in winter. You know, and it would get really cold. I think of that prison fight scene in 3 that was really hard. It was like three days of fighting and stuff. Yeah, and I mean, and then there's just there are a lot of scenes that when you read them, you know that they feel iconic, that the fans are going to really respond, and so that, you know, I feel a bit of pressure when those scenes present themselves. Like I have scenes with Vincent D'Onofrio and stuff, and I just know that these are the kind of moments that the fans are going to love, and so it's really important. I feel they feel more important than other scenes, maybe, you know. So, thanks, great question.
It's funny because you hear actors often talk about how you're shooting in one of 2 ways. You're either sweating to death or you're frozen. That's it. It's never just pleasant, ever. Question over here. What's your name?
I am Anne.
Hi.
Hi.
My question is, from a behind-the-scenes standpoint, how does working with Netflix compare to working with Disney?
They're both awesome. because I do want to keep working for all companies.
They are all amazing. I love it. Hi. what's your name?
Hi, I'm Noah.
Hi, Noah.
Hi. So obviously the MCU is very secretive, and Kevin Feige is always breathing down everyone's necks, trying to keep people quiet. But is there someone in your life that you feel like you kind of just abandon that secrecy with, and just tell them everything that's how you know it? And if you feel like that question's going to get you in trouble, then what is it like keeping that from keeping all the secrecy from everyone?
That's a great question.
Yeah, I'm like, I forget what people don't know. You know, so I get really nervous. Even just like someone's a minute ago asking about Foggy and Karen, and I have to like think, do people know that? Is that? And then I'm like, oh yeah, there's photos, so okay. I mean, I tell my wife everything. I mean, I'm hoping she's trustworthy. Yeah, it's more like I feel like sometimes I could be on the phone to someone in like an Uber, going something, you know what I mean? And then after I get out, I'm like, oh shit, I wonder if I should have spoken about that, you know? Some of you probably read this, I've told this story before, but when we were doing Spider-Man, you know, my involvement in that was super, super secret, and I was only needed for one day, so it was like very possible to keep me secret. But because there was COVID at the time, I had to be in Atlanta. I had to quarantine for 2 weeks before I could shoot, and then I was done. But I'm friends with Andrew Garfield. I've known Andrew for years, and so I texted him and said, you know, do you want to have some lunch? And so neither of us really thought about it. We were just like, yeah, let's go and get some lunch. And so I picked him up and we went somewhere, and then we got to this restaurant, and both of us realized, like, oh shit, probably shouldn't be photographed in Atlanta together whilst they're shooting Spider-Man. You know what I mean? That's not a good look. And so we chose this table in this restaurant and had us both facing the wall. Yeah, but I think we got away with it. Thank you so much.
No, I love that question. I'm going to use that in some future panels. What an interesting thing. Out of curiosity, do you have the sense when people have recognized you, and what is that moment like when you just minding your business, having lunch, you're like, oh, I've been spotted, or how does that work for you?
I don't notice it a lot, to be honest. I'm normally someone comes and says something, and that's when I know they've recognized me. Occasionally, like I'll be on the subway in New York, and I'll see someone trying to figure it out. That's fine. And there was one example where I was on the subway with this, and there was like a bunch of high school kids, like a bunch of them. And I was that would make me a little nervous, because that was like a lot of people. There was like 15 of them, and I could hear them talking. I mean, I don't know why they thought I couldn't hear it, but I could hear it. And like one of them was like, that's him, and I was like, no, it's not. And I was like, yeah, it is. And then they got their phone out, and it's like, I can't get cell reception, like all this kind of stuff. And then I got off, and one of the guys got off. Not because of me, I think it was his stop. But they had decided it wasn't me. And so I got off, and then the door shut, and I just waved at them. and then I could see them like all freak out inside. And then the one guy he was out, so he was like, can I have a photo? And so as they were leaving, I was taking a snap. I felt kind of bad, to be honest, but it's not my place to go, by the way, you're right, whoever said, you know, like, I don't, you know.
That is a great story. Hi, what's your name? Question over here.
Hi, my name is Caitlin, and I saw you in a little production called Betrayal on Broadway with Charlie Cox and Zoe Ashton. You all were phenomenal.
Thank you.
My first question is, would you ever consider going back to Broadway, and if so, what show? And I would also want to know a little bit more about the infamous Halloween costume switcheroo between you and Tom Hiddleston.
Okay, so first question, easy, yes. I don't know what show, but I'd love to. It's one of the reasons I live outside New York, is so that I can be closer to the theatre. So when we did that Halloween thing, Daredevil was done for me as far as I'm concerned. Like the show was over. And I knew Tom was doing another, that is sweet. I knew Tom was doing Loki again. But I was not, as far as I was aware, it was over, like Daredevil was over. And I was just kind of a bit, I really needed that.
If I ever am on stage with you again, I will bring Star Wars.
I really needed that. That was a good feeling. So I was a little nervous because I didn't want to just seem like I was trying to encourage Marvel, to pick us up. But so we called them. We called Marvel and said, "Can we do this?" And they sent us the costumes. I mean, the Halloween costumes. And then Zowie decided to do it, and then Eddie did it as well. But what's cool about it is me, Tom, and Zowie in these Marvel costumes. And now I am doing Daredevil again. And then Zowie was in Miss Marvel. It's so cool. Yeah. And fun.
So it might have been you might have inspired bringing Daredevil back.
Maybe.
Thank you, Caitlin. Hi, what's your name? Question over here.
My name's Hannah.
Hi, Hannah.
The first movie I saw you was Theory of Everything. So what was it like working with a cast?
Yeah, it was that was such a fun film to shoot. It was so cool. And again, Eddie had been my friend for years, and we we worked together once, but we hadn't really had scenes together. It's like one of the joys of any job is when you get to work with, collaborate with your friends. So we had a lot of fun on that. It was really sweet. It's such a beautiful film, and Eddie's performance and Felicity's as well. I mean, just really phenomenal. So I feel very proud to be part of that. It's also so different to Daredevil, that character. So it was kind of fun. Yeah.
Thanks, Hannah.
Thank you.
So who are you close with in the actor sphere? Like, who do you pick up the phone and text or chat with?
Well, Vincent's become one of my great friends. Ironically, we get on so well. So it's kind of fun when we have to then pretend that we hate each other. I mean, my best friends are not actors. They're my school, my childhood friends, obviously. But a lot of the Brits, we all know each other. Eddie, I had lunch with Jamie Dornan the other day for the first time in a number of years, and I think the last time I saw him, I didn't have kids. So it's kind of cool. I've told this story a number of times, so sorry if I'm boring you. I do have a really cool photo of on Venice Beach in California. We were all in LA trying to get work, trying to get jobs. And we're all at the beach on a Tuesday because we don't have work. And we're all playing volleyball. And it's myself, Andrew Garfield, Eddie Redmayne, and Jamie Dornan. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
That's a great photo. Is that like up on the wall, I hope, somewhere in your office?
No, it's just on my computer.
That's cool.
But it pops up every now and again, and I see it and I think, wow, man, we've all been so lucky. We've really kind of... But I remember, what's cool about it is I remember when I was... back then, when we were trying to get work and, worried, is this going to pan out? Because if you're trying to be an actor and it doesn't work out, you have to start again. You can't really use that non-experience and take it into another field. You have to go and get qualification and have a different career. So it's very unsettling as a younger man, trying to get work and just have it feels so much luck involved, being in the right place at the right time. So it was a nerve-wracking experience, but I remember back then hearing stories about Ewan McGregor and Jude Law and a bunch of those guys, someone else I'm forgetting, similarly all lived together when they were young and trying to get work, and they shared apartments and stuff. And I remember knowing that and thinking, God, it'd be so cool if we can figure, we get work and stuff. And so it's really amazing.
Did you ever come close to giving up?
I don't think so. I always had there was always something possible.
Yeah.
There was always, there were months without work, and I waited tables and stuff, and did all that stuff. But I don't, I don't think it ever went long enough for me to go like, oh, I really need to rethink this.
Well, we're certainly glad. So, question over here. Hi, what's your name?
Hello, my name's Dominic.
Hey, Dominic.
3 questions.
Nope.
No.
One. Sorry.
All right. You already answered the one about Vincent that he's real close to. What did you dread most that you thought you would have to do to get into acting? I mean, how far do you think you would have to go? Like, what am I going to have to do to get in the door? What did you dread?
Excellent. Single question. Excellent.
Nothing sexual.
What?
Nothing sexual. No. What did you dread? Like, how hard is this going to be for me to get in the door, to get started? You know, what was your dread? Like, man, what do I have to do to get?
Wow, what a good question.
It's a 57-year-old brain thing, and there's a word.
Yeah, I mean,
they got a good one on you.
Just auditioning is like, I mean, look, everything's relative, obviously.
Did you think you were good enough?
You just don't know. I mean, you're day to day. And to this day, you know, I wake up some days and think, yeah, I'm pretty good at this. And other days I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, this is awful. You know, I think that is the nature of being involved in some sort of art, which it fluctuates, you know. And I remember reading years ago an article, an interview with Christopher Walken, who's like one of my heroes, and him saying that he still to this day feels like the last job was his job he just finished was the last one, you know. So I think you have to get pretty comfortable with feeling insecure about stuff.
That they're going to be let down.
Let down, but also that you'll. It just does feel to me at least that there's a lot of luck involved. You know, being in the right place at the right time has certainly been a theme for my career, and you have to just chalk that up as you know, good luck and work hard, obviously, and you know, all the rest of it. Make sure you're prepared and stuff. But in terms of, I still dread auditions. If I have to audition for something, I can't sleep. I hate get nervous and stuff. I mean, if any of you guys out there have done anything like that, a casting call or audition, it's like it's hard, you know.
Thank you, Vincent.
Thank you.
Can you do a Christopher Walken impersonation?
I
I gotta ask.
I love it when people can.
When they're good at it, they're really good.
Bradley Cooper's one is really. Is it Bradley Cooper's?
It is.
So good.
Yep, absolutely. Hi, question over here. What's your name?
Josh.
Hey, Josh.
I was just wondering, one of my all-time favorite scenes of the Daredevil series was the hallway fight scene from season 1. I'm just like,
That's right.
how many days did that take you to film?
That was one day.
One day?
Yeah, because it's a wonder, so it was one day. But I mean, obviously the stunt team were rehearsing it with the camera department for, you know, a couple of days leading up to it. But it was just a one-day shoot. Yeah, and that was very early on. It was like in the second week of production. So at that point, I hadn't learned many of the stunts at that point. So I was like, I was not involved in that one as much as I was in others. That was mostly Chris.
That's very cool.
Thank you.
Thanks, Josh. See, we have all kinds of good questions here. I love this crowd. Hi, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Evan.
Hi, Evan.
First, up until a few months ago, I worked for the American Bar Association Commission on Disability Rights. So basically, disabled lawyers were a thing. So
that's
your
so
poster
cool.
was up on the wall in my office. It's kind of our unofficial mascot for 7 years. So
Wicked.
on behalf of disabled lawyers, thank you.
Thank you.
So maybe this isn't the kind of thing that you think about at all, but I know one thing that I've always found really fascinating about the Daredevil character is he's both actively really disabled, though he can't see, but also basically a superhero. He has abilities that make him exceptional in another direction, and for a lot of us in the disability community, that's a very familiar thing, where we're sort of, you know, exceptional in both strengths and weaknesses. So I'm wondering, is that something that you ever tried to reconcile with how you played the character, like it's something you thought about, or if you did think about it, how did that affect the way you played it?
Yeah, it's a really great question. So there's a lovely quote, I don't know who said it first, but there's a lovely quote which is, the wound is the gift. I don't know if you've ever heard that before, but the idea behind the things that hurt you end up being the things that make you stronger and make, you know, end up leading you or guiding you into the person you're supposed to be, I guess, or something like that. And I think that Matt Murdock is a really good example of that. You know, the wound ends up being the gift for him in a very literal sense, and obviously for most of us it's more metaphorical, but with him it's literal. But I just think it's a really great idea, concept to consider when thinking about Matt. That not just literally what happened to him, but also it's how he lives his life. I think he sees problems as opportunities, you know, and he sees setbacks as redirections, maybe guidance from God or whatever. I've also found that to be really useful in my own life, and I think that when I can think that way, you know, you can, count your blessings rather than live in the disasters or whatever it is. You know, it's a vital part of life.
It was Evan, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Great question. Thank you.
The line that he said, I'm still ruminating on it, when he said exceptional in both strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your question. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Hi, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Isabel.
Hi, Isabel.
I admire you so much as an actor, and I
Thank
think
you.
Daredevil is my favorite character. I was wondering, how do you think Matt Murdock is reflective of you, and how you influenced his character?
What is he? What am I? What do we have in common? Do you mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if this is going to answer your question, but this is what I'm thinking of. One thing I love about playing Matt Murdock is he's so unafraid to be completely honest with people. Like, he doesn't people please at all, which is not like me. I'm a total people pleaser. Like, really, like, can't, don't want to hurt anyone's feelings ever. Whereas Matt is and I admire this about him. Like, he tells people the truth. He tells them exactly how he feels, and he's not afraid of them not liking it, what he has to say. And that's something that we have that's very different. But it means that when I'm acting him, I get to enjoy that. I get to enjoy what it would feel like to be someone who, and I don't mean it in an offensive way, but I do think that it's really amazing to be around someone when they are that honest, that rigorously honest, and let you handle your feelings around what they say. So that's really fun to do that. Other ways that we're similar. I think I'm quite a positive person, I think, in general. I tend to kind of really enjoy life. And I think Matt does as well. I mean, he's burdened, obviously. I mean, carries rocks with him everywhere he goes. But has a positive outlook, and believes things will unfold into goodness. And I think I'm like that. Thanks. Nice
Thank
question.
you. Hi, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Mercury. I'm a big fan of the comics. I love collecting comics. I was wondering if there's any Daredevil comics that you have read that you really enjoy and would like to see adapted, or it just inspired you on how you played Matt Murdock. Sorry.
Yeah, great. I mean, so many. I reference the Bendis Millie stuff all the time. That was the stuff that really got me to understand the show we were making when I read that stuff. We have Jeff Loeb is here today, and the stuff he did with Tim Sale, the Daredevil Yellow. I just think I think about that all the time when I have scenes with Deborah, Karen Page, because I think that it captured the essence of their relationship so beautifully. I really like in terms of, I think, I get a bit confused because it's, been a while, but I think there's a period in the Brubaker Lark stuff where I think what happens is Matt gets himself arrested so that he goes to jail so that he can get to Fisk. Something like that. I can't remember exactly what the story is, but I remember that period where they're both in jail. And I just always thought that would be a really cool storyline to mess with, you know. Thank you, great question, I really appreciate it.
Brian Michael Bendis is from my hometown of Oregon, and he is someone Portland. I would absolutely stop him on the subway and be like, let's have a photo, please. That'd be so cool. He's
a hero, right?
He is a hero.
Yeah, and I know Alex Believe really well. Yeah, so yeah, I see him a lot at my gym actually. Yeah.
Okay. Hi, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Peter.
Hi, Peter.
Me and my siblings and girlfriend like watching Daredevil a lot, and there's a lot of scenes where like Matt's at the church and has conversations with different people about his faith, and I was just wondering, like, did you have to learn like any like theology or any like background on that before going into the role, preparing for the role?
Well, I grew up a Catholic, and I'm not a very good one anymore. But you know that has obviously influenced a lot of my life, you know, and I've always been quite moved by a lot of things that have come from my religion, including things like, you know, the spaces themselves, churches, and cathedrals and stuff, very architecturally at least, and etc. are very moving. So that stuff was all kind of, I had it, you know, I knew all the prayers, you know, I knew a lot of the etiquette, you know, and I'd done a ton of confessionals in my life and stuff like that. So kind of that stuff was quite familiar to me. And it was nice that when I was preparing for this role, there were so many things about Matt that I had no idea about. Like, I didn't know anything about the law. I'm not American. I'd never done any martial arts. I'm not visually impaired. You know, I mean, there was so many things I had to like, right, I better work on that. But at least the Catholicism was like, okay, I got that. That I understand. But it's, you know, fun. It's fun to kind of, I don't think I played a priest once. I played a priest twice. Wow, maybe there's something very pious about me. I just realised that. You know, I played quite a few. I think I played a priest 3 times. Oh, I'm just putting this together right now. Maybe,
do you want me to look it up?
Yeah. I think maybe someone's trying to send me a message. Maybe it's God. Because I do. That's cool. All right, thank you.
Thank you. And for Isabel, I think you can add that to the list when they were trying to decide what characteristics maybe you shared. Because I can, growing up also Catholic myself and no longer practicing, I can still smell Christmas and Easter. The frankincense and myrrh, right? It's an immediate reaction. Hi, what's your name?
Hi, my name is Tony Ann.
Hi, Tony Ann.
I was wondering, since there have been other people that have played Matt Murdock in Daredevil, is there something that you wanted to bring to the character to make yourself like distinct, like this is Charlie Cox's Matt Murdock?
No, I don't really think that way. I didn't look at it and go, right, how do I make this different?
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted it to be authentic. Mm-hmm. When I started reading the comics, it was really clear to me that Matt Murdock is very different depending on which decade you're reading and who's writing it.
Right.
You know, you could make the argument that there's a Daredevil that was more Stan Lee, which is very different to Joe Quesada, who obviously drew him, but it's very different to Brian Michael Bendis, you know, and Frank Miller, obviously. So I read the scripts and I dived into the comics and I kind of figured out quite quickly which Daredevil we were going for. I remember thinking, like, this concept of the man without fear was an interesting one because it's such an iconic phrase and notion. But I also, I was nervous to play someone who doesn't feel fear because I just don't think that's interesting. And what I like about Matt Murdock is he's so human. You know, unlike many superheroes, he is, you know, he's not invincible. He can be hurt quite badly, quite easily. And the show really leaned into that a lot. So I wanted to play someone who the man who had a lot of fear, but he was willing and able to fight, punch through, you know, and face the fear.
It's like he does both simultaneously.
So it's almost like society labels him as the man without fear because they see what he does and go, wow, he's fearless. But the truth is, he's not. he's just incredibly courageous, and despite their fear, will do it anyway.
Right.
Which I thought was, I just feel like it's more human, you know.
Definitely.
Great question. Thank you. Hi, what's your name?
Hey, Mark.
Yeah, my question is, so I just got finished watching the Defender series, and Matt's relationship with Elektra is really rocky, especially at the end whenever she...
Really rocky?
Yeah. So how do you feel about the differences between Matt and Elektra and Matt and Jen? And
who?
And Jennifer. And
Jen Walters?
Yes, and She-Hulk. Because they kind of had a new situation going.
I was just saying, I was just thinking, wow, Matt picks them, doesn't he?
Right.
I mean, there's some complicated characters in that.
Like, do you feel like because Jen is more understanding of his lawyer and then his superhero life versus Elektra just being in that dark place with him all the time? How do you feel about that?
Did you know that's what I was looking for?
I've done it once or twice.
Okay, really good question. Tough. What I really liked about how they wrote in our show, how they wrote the Matt and Elektra stuff, was I just felt it really encapsulated like your college crazy girlfriend. And even when you get older and you look back on that time and you're like, wow, that was nuts. When they show up, there's still a part of you that's like, let's do it again. You know? There's still that kind of like addiction to that, the craziness. Just me, no one else. So, and I thought the writers of season 2 of Daredevil just nailed it with that. Marco Ramirez and Doug Petrie. So the Jen Walters stuff is kind of like we haven't really got a chance to explore it much. Hopefully, maybe one day we'll get an opportunity to do more stuff together because I absolutely loved working with Tatiana. She's an incredible actor. But that just felt like a fling outside of your zip code. Is that what you guys? Is that how you say it? You know
No.
What I mean? I felt like when I was thinking about doing that show, I was like wondering like, well, Matt typically is more like he's more heavy and like burdened and like doesn't really go on vacation. You know what I mean? He's not that guy. But I was thinking it's like kind of one of those things where he's in New York, he's in the grind. It's like he's trying to like solve crime by himself, but then he has to go to LA, and while he's in LA, he's like, this is fun, and he kind of just like has a good time. So that's how I saw it. But you know, we did the walk of shame. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's so funny. It really divides people because some people loved it and thought it was really funny and very Daredevil and very enjoyable, and other people get really cross about it. You know. It's really funny. Yeah.
It's polarizing.
Yeah.
We have time for one, maybe 2 more questions. Hi, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Jacob.
Hi, Jacob.
So out of the many costumes that Daredevil has worn, from the Black Ninja suit in season 1 to the classic red armored suit, or just throwing Jessica Jones' scarf on your face in the Defenders, what has been your favorite suit and why?
When I need to pee, the vigilante costume is so fun and easy. So there was a lot of season 3 where I was wearing the vigilante costume, and Wilson Bethel, who's here today, who plays Poindexter, where he was wearing the Daredevil costume. And it felt so good to be not wearing that and getting to see someone else like, you can't escape the fact that when I get into my room in the morning or whatever, and the superhero suit is hanging on the thing there, it's like, I'm still a little kid inside. I'm like, I look at it, I'm like, cool. So it's pretty fun, and again, I know I can say this because there's footage all over the internet now, but the new one's pretty cool.
I like it. You will be our last question. Hi.
Hi.
My name's Electro. How's it going?
Hi, Electro.
I understand that Daredevil was a man without fear. My question for you is, do you think Daredevil would be a good member of the Green Lantern Corps?
Oh man, I'd love for you to ask another question because I don't know anything about Green Lantern. I'm so sorry. My superhero knowledge really just extends to Daredevil.
In that case, which music do you like to enjoy to listen to?
Oh, that's a great question.
Nicely done.
That's a great. What music do I like, or what music does Matt like? It's very different.
Either one works.
Oh god. Okay, so I'm a big fan of The National myself. Yeah, love The National. And I always think that Matt likes listening to I think he likes classical music when he needs to lower his adrenaline and adrenaline levels and calm down. But I always think of him as listening to Interpol or Joy Division, that kind of stuff. So I don't really know why. And then a little bit of Spice Girls.
That's what's up.
Right?
That's what's up.
Do you know what I mean? Tell me what you want. He puts that on in the morning. In the shower.
A little Spice Girls. My question for you, and this is where we'll end things, is do you have the red glasses?
So when we were doing one of the seasons, I went to, there was an auction at the American Foundation for the Blind, and they asked me if I could donate anything, and I went to production and I said, can we donate something? And they gave me a set of the red glasses that I had worn in the show. So I donated them for the auction. So me and my wife showed up at this event, and there was all these things that had been donated, and everyone was mingling and having cocktails and putting, there was a trip on a yacht or a dinner with someone or 2 nights in this hotel, that kind of stuff, right? And one of the lots was the red glasses from Daredevil, and I had them framed, and I donated that to raise money. When everyone went to dinner, so the auction closed, dinner was at 8:30. The auction started at 7:30, dinner was at 8:30, but the auction closed at 9:30 when it was dessert. And when we went into dinner, the price for the glasses was $200. And I was like, what? The Daredevil glasses. So when it got to dessert, I went to the toilet and I went back in to see where it was at, and it was at $300. So I bid $500. And then so at the end of the night, they called out the winners. They were like, I won my own glasses. And it was funny because when I went to pay, the woman didn't figure out what was going on. She knew that I had donated them, and she was like, "Oh, it's okay. You don't have to give them to us now. We'll package them and send them." And I'm like, "No, I'm here to pay for them." She was like, "No, you don't have to pay for them." I was like, "No, you don't understand. I won them." And they're already at my house, so we don't have to package them to anyone. So yes, I do understand the question.
I am glad we're. Let's take a selfie, please, if we could. All right, solid. Give it up, everyone.